All right, you beautiful bitches and you beautiful bastards. Going to do a little bit more content on coaching, on paid products, on content creation, on financial abundance, business, all that good shit. And I want to talk about something that's very personal to me that I've heard quite a few people sort of say to me when I've been coaching them on starting their own business. I had this massive fear at the start about if I give away too much free content, as in too many, back then I was only writing blog articles. If I write too many blog articles and like give away all of my secrets, so to speak, why would anyone pay me for coaching? And now let's be very clear. At the very start, for the first 2 years, I wasn't even thinking about money. I was just kind of writing articles and shit. But once I started thinking in terms of like, okay, I could maybe make some money from coaching, I felt myself like wanting to hold back on some of the articles that I would write. And I did hold back a couple of times, not too often, but every now and then I would go, okay, maybe I shouldn't write this article because I should sort of tell my coaching clients this and keep it sort of only to the coaching clients and not tell, you guys. And this is probably best exemplified by my big Tinder guide. So for any of you who aren't familiar, I wrote a massive Tinder guide, and it's more like a self-improvement and also a bit of a relationship guide and a bit of a texting guide, and it's massive. I cover like literally everything. It's 130,000 words, and for comparison, a novel, the average novel is like 30,000 words. So this thing is big. It took me like 9 months to write. It's like my magnum opus, and so many people said to me, you shouldn't be giving this away for free. You need to charge for this. You could probably charge like $5,000 for this, especially if you did it like as a video course or something rather than just a written guide. Like this is a premium product. You have all your free content already. I think at that point I'd written like 200 articles or something. They said, you've written all that. That's beautiful. This Tinder guide thing should be paid. And I knew from the very start of writing it that I couldn't possibly make it paid. And a big part of that, and someone that I'm very grateful to, is Chris from Good Looking Loser, because he gave away everything for free. And I really felt like I had to pay that same thing forward. I felt like he had taught us everything there was to know about cold approach, about mindset, about sex, about enjoying, although he didn't write that much about sex, but about getting to the point of sex. And I felt like it was my mission to sort of grab that torch and carry that forward, because the guy had changed my life. His content absolutely changed my life. And I felt like there's no way I can lock this Tinder guide, all of this self-improvement advice, behind a paywall. It has to be free. And like 99% of my content, 99.99% of my content, I gave it away for free. And so I had this big fear though when I did it of like, fuck, if I'm doing this Tinder guide, which explains literally everything. Like you can literally be a morbidly obese, socially anxious person and go from that to having a girlfriend and having a ton of sex and building your sex life. I literally cover how to have better sex, how to do foreplay, like sex toys, everything, what to say on a date, what to text, what to do afterwards in the months or years after the date so that you can, keep seeing her. I covered everything. And I had these fears of like, well, why the hell would someone want to then come to me for coaching? What would be the point? What could I possibly coach them on when it's all in the Tinder guide? And what I've found is, and this doesn't just come from me, this comes from so many different entrepreneurs and advice givers and people that say, if you just give away amazing free content, and the mindset to have in your head is, I want my free content to be better than most other people's paid content. And obviously I would say my Tinder guide is probably better than, and I'm not privy to everyone's paid content, but I would make a bet that the Tinder guide is probably better than 99% of the paid content out there, right? If you have that mindset and you give away amazing free content, people actually think if this is what his free stuff is like, imagine how much this guy could help me if I paid him. And so again, I had all these fears of like, fuck, if I'm giving away so much in the Tinder guide, why would someone pay me? What I actually found is more people came to me. Releasing that Tinder guide, especially when I then went and posted it on Reddit and said, hey, look, guys, I've made this long, which just brought so many people in. I think the biggest day we had one day where 10,000 people, which is an insane number in my head. 10,000 people clicked over to my blog in one day just because of the Tinder guide that I posted. All these people came flooding in, and what I actually found was people aren't just seeing you for information. That's the mistake that I was making in my head. And some of you who are just getting started with coaching or content creation, or maybe you have a paid product or a book, or you help people in some way, you think that people are just coming to you for information. They're not. People see you for so many different reasons. One of the biggest ones, is people see you for empathy. They come to you to feel understood, and in some cases feel loved, but at least to feel understood and listened to. The content that I do, and that maybe some of you are doing, isn't quite the same as sitting there on a call or in person or whatever, saying to another human being, I'm here, I'm listening. Like, actually that physical presence, even if it's just through a camera like this, you're still there, like it's still live. That physical presence counts for so much. And so I had made this mistake where I thought, well, I'm giving away all this information in my Tinder guide and all of my articles. What could they possibly need me for? And it's like, motherfucker, like, the content isn't empathy. Now, I'm very empathetic in the content. That isn't the same as someone saying, I'm listening to you, the person right now. Even as you listen to this right now, I am speaking to you, and I often, in my head, just imagine one of you listening. And some of you I even imagine like an actual person, because I know quite a lot of you in the comments. I remember your usernames and shit. And I will literally sometimes think, okay, I'm saying this to Renee. I'm saying this to, I should probably shout out a few of you, right? So you get all the fucking excited. Daddy Longlegs. Who else should I shout out? We'll leave it there. Maybe I'll shout out a couple of people in every video, and then you'll all get fucking happy. But I will literally have one of you in my head and I'm talking to you. But most of the time, you don't know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just see this as a video. Some of you will see this as a video that's going out to like hundreds or maybe 1,000 people, right? I'm not sitting down on a private call with one of you talking just to you and empathizing. And so people will pay you for that empathy. People will come to you just to feel listened to feel like you give a shit about them. I did an article, or it might have been a podcast a while ago, where I said people come to you not just for the information, but they're coming to know that you give a shit, that you care about them. People just want to be cared about. At the end of the day, we're all human. We don't want to feel alone. And that's one of the big things that we're looking for. I often say human beings want a couple of different things: to feel loved, to feel understood, and to be happy. And that second one is probably, the biggest one. I want to feel fucking understood. I want to feel like people care about me. I don't want to feel alone. Another thing that people come to you for is to help them sort through the content. And this one really blew my mind. And by the way that I've realized why people come to me, and this is a big hack that a lot of you can use, I just fucking asked them. I said, like, hey, why are you here in the coaching? I would ask them after like 2 or 3 weeks. I'd be like, why did you come? Why did you pay me? Like, what are you here for? What do you like? Why didn't you just use my Tinder guide? I asked that question a lot too. I was like, why didn't you just use the Tinder guide? And one of the big things that people told me is, bro, like, your Tinder guide is massive and you have hundreds of articles. At this point, I have like 1,500 pieces of content between my Spotify podcast, which has completely different content to what's here on YouTube, my YouTube channel, and my blog. And then I also send emails. So if you're not signed up to my email list, there's a link in the description below. I send out different emails that I don't necessarily put in articles or anywhere else. Like, I have a fuck ton of content. And lots of people told me, bro, you have like too much content. I can't possibly consume all of it. And even if I did, I wouldn't know which ones directly apply to me right now, right? In my unique set of circumstances and at my point in my life. I literally came to you so you could help me sort through all of that and just tell me like what to listen to. Like, literally, you're like my librarian telling me, hey, go to this row, get out this book and read this chapter. And I do that with lots of my coaching clients. That is like a big part of how I coach people, because I've done so much content. And this is one of the beautiful reasons, another beautiful reason to release so much content for free. You then have built up this beautiful library of all of these different, like, where you've put your heart and soul into like a really good piece of content, that then when someone asks you a question in your coaching program or wherever else, you can just say, okay, go to this, here's a link, go watch this. This will answer your question. I do that so much in the coaching. Any of you who are in my coaching program will be nodding your heads right now and going, yeah, Handy like always just has a link for everything, because I've done so much fucking content. And so that's another beautiful reason to do so much free, good content, quality content. It makes your life easier down the track. That is the fucking reason why I started a blog. That is literally the fucking reason. Might sound like a strange reason. It is that reason, because I was helping people a lot on the Good Looking Loser forums, which was a forum that I used to frequent. And I would be writing these long like essays to people where I'd pour my heart and soul, and it would take me like an hour to write the bloody thing. And I just found a lot of people's problems were very similar to what other people had gone through. And I found myself repeating myself over and over again. And so what I did was I had like bookmarked a lot of my best replies on those forums, and I'd put them in a document, and I'd given them like tags or headings. And then if someone was going through a similar problem, I would have that link and I'd be like, hey, go to this thread, this reply, look at what I wrote. And that started to get very unwieldy after a certain point, because it's not very easy to search through forums. And so people had pushed me and said, hey, maybe you want to start a blog. And at some point I was just like, fuck it. A blog would make this so much easier, because I could just write an article and then I could literally give people that link. And so one thing that I still do to this day is I will title things, like the titles that I put on my podcasts, especially on my Spotify podcast and my articles, but also on YouTube. I'll choose titles that make it easy for me to go back and search. And so you'll notice that sometimes I have titles that are very long, or I'll write the title, but then in brackets, I'll also have something extra as well. Like I don't usually have short and sharp titles. I do sometimes, but most of the times I have really long titles so that I can Google it and find that and then go, okay, go watch this. And so giving away all this free content literally helps you later on down the track. Now, it does take a little bit of time because you do have to build up that library. Like I said, at this point, it's taken me like 4 years of writing and, videos and podcasts. But at this point, there's almost no questions that people ask that I don't have some sort of podcast for. Every now and then someone will stump me and I'll go, oh, wow, okay, that's a new topic. Let me go and cover that. And obviously, as I move into different domains, like I'm now obviously doing a lot more content around business, around money, around how to be a coach, how to be a content creator. And so, yeah, these are new domains that I haven't covered before. But if somebody asks me almost any question about sex or depression or mindset or relationships or love or like what to text a girl, it's like, bro, you better believe I have like 20 articles that I can just be like, here you go. And so that really helps. So again, to bring it back to the original point, if you have so much free content, and make sure that it's quality content, obviously, I feel like that goes without saying, but if you have so much content that people can't possibly read or watch it all, they will literally pay you to tell them which bits are relevant, like which bits are almost like a custom tailored plan for them. They're literally paying you to sort through all of your own content, which blew my fucking mind when I realized that, when people told me that, because I was like, holy shit, that actually means the exact opposite of what I used to worry about is true. So I used to worry, if I give away too much of this free content, nobody will pay me and I won't be able to pay the bills, and like, why would they need me? It's the opposite. It's literally the more free content you give away, the more people pay you, because they're like, fuck, this is just too much. And I appreciate how much free content you've done. This is mind blowing. I can't believe you've done this much. Bro, I need you to tell me like what to fucking do. Because like I just feel analysis paralysis when I look at all of your content. And I love your content. Thank you for doing it. But holy fuck, dude, just tell me what to do. So yeah, that's absolutely blown my mind. And further on that, people will pay you to give them that custom plan. So they will come to you and they understand, and you understand that, yes, most people have a lot of similarities. We're all humans. We all want to be loved and understood and, happy and all of that sort of stuff. But people have unique goals. They have unique missions. They have unique preferences. I like to say that people have different rule books, like a different rule book that they play life with. They will have their own circumstances and all that kind of stuff. And they will be paying you for that custom advice. So they will have read a lot of your articles, and they'll go, that's beautiful. I love that. That really helps. But I want you to listen to my story, and I want you to give me a plan. And most of the time, the plan's pretty similar, but like you will tweak little bits and pieces depending on what the person wants and what they're asking for and all of that. And so it's not like you have to sit there and go like, oh God, I got to do all this work to do a custom plan for everyone. Usually it's just like, hey, go and watch this podcast and this and this and this, and maybe you want to go in this direction and try that and do this. Like it's very easy for you as the coach or the person making the products and shit like that, but people will pay you for that custom advice. Another thing that people come to you for is they will come to you for you to tell them that everything is okay and everything is going to be okay. This is a big one that took me a while to realize, and it was only by like really listening to my clients and going and having so many, like at this point, I don't know how many clients I've had, like, I don't know, like 200, 300, something like that. When you've had that, when you've talked to that many people, it's probably more than that actually, by the time I think about all the like one-off calls that I've done with people, whatever. By the time you've talked to that many people, you start to see patterns emerge, and you realize that, or at least I've realized in my own coaching, that the vast majority of people that come to me just want to be either given permission to go for their goals, or they want to be told that they're not a fuck up, that there's nothing wrong with them, that they're okay, or they want to be told that, like, if they just continue doing what they're doing, or if they just do what you suggest, or if they just go in this direction, they will eventually make it. You can sort of distill all of that down and put it all into this one sentence that I said before. People just want to know that everything is okay and that it will be okay. It's okay now, and in the future it will be okay now. Sorry, in the future it'll be okay then. And so, knowing that, I've been able to give that to so many of my clients. I literally we had a group coaching call yesterday, and we were talking through, one of the guys was talking through some things, and I literally just said, bro, you're just right now asking me to tell you that everything's okay and everything will be okay. I can see you trying to do that. You don't know that's what you're trying to ask me. You think you're asking me about an actual problem or this situation that you're in, but really what you want from me is for me to be like your father or your big brother or something, and to just tell you, hey man, everything's okay. I promise everything's okay, and it's going to be okay. Like, that's what you're asking. And so I'm telling you now, dude, like, everything's going to be okay. And I told him that, and he was like, thank you. Like, yeah, I think that is what I wanted. So people are coming to you for that, and they might not realize they're coming to you for that, but recognizing that, you know, most people just want to be happy. They just want to know that they're not a fuck up. They just want to know that if they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to make it. You can just directly give that to them. And you can give that to them through your free content. And I try to. I've done so many fucking articles called, like, there was one that was like, you deserve to be here. That was literally me just saying, you deserve to be here. Like, you're worthy. I've done so many where I say, like, I love you guys. Like, you are loved. Everything is okay. I've done so many where I say, it's okay if you suck. It's okay if you're insecure. It's okay. Like, I promise everything's okay. I've done so many where I talk about you're going to make it. I've done ones where I talk about if you feel helpless. I've done ones where it's like, I did one called Don't Kill Yourself. I've done ones about depression. I've done so much content around, you know, everything is okay. Everything's going to be okay. But that isn't quite the same as face to face, or, you know, camera to camera, live, telling someone you are going to be okay. Like, when it's an article, even if I say you, even if I literally say you, the reader who is reading this right now, you still don't know that that's you. It's still an article that I wrote to a lot of people that a lot of people are going to read, right? It doesn't feel quite as personal. So some people will, or quite a lot of people actually, will come to you to just literally hear that their unique, special circumstances doesn't mean that they can't be helped. And that, further on, that is a thing that people would absolutely come to you for. They will have these feelings and these doubts and these insecurities of like, I'm a special case, I can't be helped, I'm too far gone, I'm too old, I'm too short, I'm too this, I'm too fucked up, I'm ugly, I'm a virgin and it's too late for me, like all of that kind of stuff. They'll come to you basically wanting to hear that they are allowed success, or that they are worthy of success, or that they deserve love, or they deserve happiness. And even despite how much content I have done, and I've done a ton of fucking content at this point, if you search my channel for the word short, or you search my blog for the word short, I've done so much content on like, if you're short and insecure, here's what to do. I've done content on if you're bald. I've done content on if you're Asian or Indian. In fact, I don't know when this video I'm recording right now will come out, but there either will already be a video that's just come out in the last couple of days or weeks about if you're Indian or Asian and insecure, or it'll be out in the next couple of weeks. So look out for that. I'm doing a video on, or I've already done a video on if you're Asian and Indian, you feel insecure, but I've already done content on that before plenty of times. But no matter how much of that content that I do, where I tell people, you know, look at my fucking message of my website. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. That is literally my message. And yet people will still feel like, yeah, but I might be the one exception. I might be the one who's the most fucked up. And obviously there's a little bit of arrogance and ego in that. And I say that gently. Like, if you're sitting there saying, I'm the special case who can't be helped, it's like, I'm sorry, you're just not that special. I've had like hundreds of people come to me and say, I'm too fucked up, you know, I just know I'm a special kind of loser. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you're fine. You're okay. Everything will be okay. And then 3 months later, they're living this amazing life and, they've done all this shit and they go, wow, I thought I was the special case. And it's like, yeah, you and everybody else thought they were special. So I, to this day, have not met someone who isn't helpable, who isn't worthy of love and happiness and joy and all of that. But we often feel like we're too fucked up or our problems are too big and insurmountable. And I get that. And so some people will come to you, literally paying you to just tell them, you, the person, are going to make it. You are okay. Even though I already said that in my free content, I'm telling you now. And they'll go, wow, money well spent. Thank you for helping me. It's like they needed to just be heard and listened to, rather than in a general article. So those general articles help. Absolutely, if you're a content creator or a coach or someone like that, or an Instagrammer or YouTuber or whatever, do that content. That fucking helps a lot of people. It really does. A lot of people feel unbelievably alone. And if you just do a nice video where you say, hey, listen, I'm here. I get it. People are like, holy fuck, thank you. But there still will be a hell of a lot of people on top of that who will hear that and go, yeah, I need to hear that personally from you. Please take my money. Another thing that people come to you for is to help with, and it's very similar to that, to help with hopelessness. So they'll feel like, I'm too far gone. I can't possibly make it. I get that you have all of this free content and it's amazing and it can help, but I don't know. I can't do it. So it's similar to the previous one where they do sort of feel like a special case, but it's sort of like apathy and depression. They just feel too down to even know where to start. And so they will hand you money almost for accountability. And that was the next thing that I wrote down. People will pay you for accountability. And that's something you cannot get across in your coaching. Sorry. That's something you cannot get across in your free content. No matter how much free content you have where you say, hey, here's how to do accountability. Hey, here's how to get an accountability partner. Here's how to set calendar reminders to keep yourself accountable. Here's 10 ways to make sure that you're accountable. Like, that's not the same as someone directly handing you money and saying, hey, here's money. Please help me be accountable. Please, get on my back if I don't do this. Please help me when I'm feeling down. Please check in with me or I'll check in with you, once a week or every day or whatever it is. I tell the guys in the coaching program, check in every day, post in the Facebook group that we have every fucking day so we can keep you accountable. People will pay you literally for accountability. I've had so many people that come to me that literally just want accountability. They're like, I already know what I'm doing. I'm already going to succeed. You're just here to make sure that I do that. Here's money. Just make sure I do that. So people will pay you for that thing. And that blew my mind because I really didn't think anyone would. I, again, thought the only reason people would ever come to me was for information. And if I give away all of this information for free, then what could they need me for? It's like there's so much more to you than just information. Don't objectify yourself. Don't objectify yourself. Any coaches or content creators out there or people who want to be, don't objectify yourself into thinking the only thing that you're offering is information. It's so much more than that. You have so much more to give than that. You're more than just your information. It's like the opposite of that meme, where chicks are like, my eyes are up here, please. Like, it's more like they're looking at your brain. They're looking at the information and you're like, look down here, please. There's more to me than look into my heart, please. Like I have a heart to offer you, not just the information. Stop looking at my brain. So yeah, another thing that people will pay you for, and this fucking blew my mind. This one was weird. The first couple of times it happened, I was confused and weirded out by it. Now it's happened enough times that I understand it. But people will pay you to say thank you for the free content that you've given them. If you do enough really good quality free content and you genuinely pour your heart and soul into it and you try and give as much value as you can and you put everything in that you've learned and you empathize with people and you give them as much love as you can. If you do a decent job of all of that, you don't have to be an expert at that, but just do a decent job of that and do it over a long enough period of time. People will change their lives with your content. And then they will feel compelled or they will feel just so unbelievably grateful that they will want to give you money for nothing else other than to say thank you. Especially with these, these $200 calls that I've been doing with people, the little, 30-minute calls that I've been doing with people. I've had 4 or 5 people now, but one guy I can just absolutely keep in my mind, comes to the front of my mind, who we sit down and he's just like, listen, man, thank you. Thank you for everything. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. What do you want to talk about? And he's like, nothing. I was like, well, we're here anyway. We're going to be here for half an hour. What can I coach you on? And he's like, I just wanted to chat, man. How are you? How's Imogen? How's life? What are you guys up to? And I was like, okay, well, this week we did this and we did this and we actually just went and played mini golf and we did this. But yeah, man, it's been awesome. Thank you for asking, by the way. So like, come on, man. Like, look, we're here. What do you want coaching with? And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, nothing. You've legitimately helped me in so many ways. I felt like I had to give you money. I appreciate you sitting down on this call with me. Like, thank you for being here. I just want to chat. Like, I literally don't care what we talk about. And that was so unbelievably fucking humbling. That was insane. That was like, you just handed me $200 and we just sat there and shot the shit. It was a cool dude. We talked for, the 30 minutes or so. I didn't even coach him. He didn't give a shit. He literally didn't give a shit because he's like, you've already changed my life. Have some fucking money. I've had people just send me money too. One of my old coaching clients, that was a humbling fucking experience, sent me $1,000 and was just like, and this is after he had already paid me like $10,000 for coaching. And he's like, here's another $1,000. Like, thank you. And so people will say thank you, and people will buy your products, or they will send you money, or they will subscribe to you on Patreon. Remember that that's another business model that you can do. I don't personally do it. I do have a Patreon, but I think there's only like $30 a month because I never talk about it. I bet most of you didn't even know I have a Patreon because I did it for a while and it didn't really blow up. But Patreon is one way of doing it. And so there are all these different ways that that people will want to give you money. Some of them will literally say, I've had emails where people are like, bro, what's your Bitcoin wallet? Or what's your PayPal address, dude? Like, let me send you some money. That is always so unbelievably fucking humbling when someone does that, let alone like paying for your products and shit. People will just, because then they're giving you money to say thank you. And they're still getting something on top of that. They're getting your coaching or your book or your product. So yeah, that will probably surprise a lot of you. If you really get in there and do a lot of free content and genuinely try and help people, people will throw money at you just to say thank you. And they'll go like, I'm literally just signing up, or I'm buying this book because you changed my life with all of your free content. Like, I feel like I owe you at this point. I want to say fucking thank you. And not just a financial repayment. People will send you lovely emails. That's something we haven't even talked about here at all. We're just talking about the money side of thing. You guys have no idea. Some of you will because you're already doing coaching or you have your own business or whatever. The amount of emails and things that you'll get from people just saying like, thanks, man, like you changed my life. Like the number of times I've heard the phrase, you changed my life. And every single time that's so unbelievably humbling. It warms your heart. It's the nicest, it's the most life-affirming thing I think somebody could tell you. It's such a beautiful sentence for someone to string together and then send to you. And that never stops. That never goes away. And the more free content you do, obviously, the more you get from that. And so it becomes this beautiful reciprocal relationship where you're giving them all this free content to help them. And you're obviously offering the paid content and stuff like that. They are then giving you gratitude back, which makes you feel amazing, which makes you then give gratitude back to them. And it makes you want to do more free content. And then it just keeps fucking flowing. And it's this beautiful, like I said, reciprocal relationship where you're both gaining, or you and all of your audience are gaining something. And it's just amazing. And you don't get that if you don't give away a ton of content for free. And maybe I could have said this at the start of the podcast, but you don't have to give anything away for free, by the way. Like, this isn't me telling any of you what to do. You know that I would never tell you what to do anyway, but this is just what I like to do, and what a hell of a lot of other entrepreneurs and people like that, or people like Gary Vee, Alex Hormozi, Dan Henry, Good Looking Loser, Mark Manson, Caleb Jones, like a hell of, you guys know there's a hell of a lot of people on YouTube and Spotify and places like that that just give everything away for free, and then they happen to have a book, or, they have a paid course or something like that. So yeah, it's advice that I've heard a lot, and it's definitely served me. Do it if you want to, don't do it if you want to. But I've just found the more that I've given away for free, not only have I gotten all this gratitude and this wonderful, beautiful relationship, but I get more money. Like, I literally get more money. Because if nothing else, it's a beautiful way of marketing as well. So the more information you give away for free, the more content you have, that's searchable. People will search for that, or they'll share it with their friends, or they'll get more invested in your content. If you just have one article, even if it's the most life-changing article, people will read that and then they'll go, okay, I'm done now. Now I go on to the next content creator. But if you have 200 life-changing articles, they're going to fucking go deep down that rabbit hole. Quite a lot of people will go deep down that rabbit hole. I read everything Good Looking Loser ever wrote, and actually I read them all like 5 times, and every podcast and YouTube video he ever did. And then I went deep diving and found like his SoundCloud and his Vimeo account, and I found underground videos that people had shared on forums of his that he had since deleted. And like I found everything I possibly could. I found his old forum posts he was on a steroid, like a bodybuilding forum. And I found all of those old posts and I went through and read everything. Like I stalked the guy because the guy had given away so much for free that I was like, I need more. And I bought every product that he recommended. I bought dumb shit that he recommended. He recommended certain fucking soaps and aftershaves and colognes. And I bought them because I was like, it's fucking Chris. He's changed my life. I'm going to buy this shit. And so I gave him, money through like the bathmate, the soaps, clothing, colognes, just like fucking gum that he recommended, like just everything that he recommended. I was like, fucking good. I'm glad you get money. Like, I want to buy this. I want you to get some fucking commission from this. We both benefit there. Please, please, please fucking take my money. So the more you give away, people will go deeper down that rabbit hole and they'll be more into your content. You'll have more of that, what I said before, that beautiful reciprocal relationship where people feel grateful for everything you've done for them for free and they will beg you to take their money. Like I said, I've had so many people that have just sent me these lovely gratitude emails. I've even had people that have said, thank you for letting me give you money, which sounds like a funny sentence. And I always giggle when someone says that. And I'm like, bro, like, you're giving me money. They're like, I'm thankful to you. Thank you to you. And they're like, no, dude, like I felt like I wanted to give you money because of everything you've given away for free. So that always feels fucking beautiful. They pay my rent. They get to have their lives changed. Like we both win and we both benefit. I sort of touched on this before, but giving away a ton for free also means that you don't really need to do any marketing, though you obviously can if you want to. And I do share some of my content on Reddit. You can count that as marketing. It is marketing, but it's more like sharing, but it's still marketing. I will obviously send emails out to my email newsletter. So I do little bits of marketing, but I don't really have to fucking push it. I've never done paid ads for anything anywhere. And I could if I wanted to, but I just don't really want to. I don't really need to. Like, you can just kind of do good content and people will share that organically. They will jump up and down and hold up signs that have your name on it and they will tell everyone they fucking know about you and go, oh my God, this guy changed my life. I've had several people sign up for coaching and they go, bro, I'm literally here because this other motherfucker that you coached said that you changed his life. And I read your Tinder guide and I was like, holy shit, that's life changing. Okay, I'm signing up. And so people will like word of mouth literally get you more clients. And so the marketing kind of takes care of itself. Now, that takes a little while to build up. And I want to make it clear everything that I'm saying here does take a little while to build up. And so marketing, like paid advertising, can obviously help with that. But it isn't something that I felt like I ever needed to do. I did sort of almost dabble in it for a little bit. Various reasons why I didn't do it. But I just, at the end of the day, I personally like the strategy of just humbly focusing on how can I just help someone today? Like, how can I just give value? How can I help someone? That's definitely helped me. I also haven't needed to do any hard sales tactics or push people to sign up. When I jump on the calls with people to see if they want to do coaching, I'm literally just like, so are we going to do this thing? Like, do you want to do coaching? Are we going ahead? And then sometimes they're like, well, I'm just nervous about the money. Okay, like, how do we solve that problem? What do we need to do? Like, how much money do you have? How much money can you spend? Do we need a payment plan? What do we need to do? Like, I'm not sitting there doing the fucking, like, Jordan Belfont, like, straight line sales techniques. And I'm not, like, objection handling and, like, how do I do this? And, obviously if someone has a concern, we will talk through it and solve that problem. But the same way that I treat dating, like in dating, I'm not like objection handling. If she has like last minute resistance, I'm not going like, how can I make her have sex with me? No, I'm just, all right, well, do you want to have sex? Yes or no? If you don't, that's cool. If you do, but you're just nervous, like we can talk about it if you want. Like, what are you nervous about? How can we make it so that you don't feel so nervous, so that you can have fun? I just do that on my sales, I don't even call them sales calls, on my calls to see if someone wants to do coaching. So the more free content you give, because people trust you, because you've helped them for free without asking for anything, you've just offered your coaching or you've offered your paid product, but you haven't said, I need you to sign up for coaching or I want you to sign up for coaching. Because people will trust you through that, you don't really have to do sales techniques. It's more like two friends that trust each other sitting down on a call to see if they're a good fit for each other. It doesn't feel like you're in this fucking battle, which a lot of sales techniques and sales advice focuses on. They're talking about like how to beat the fucking potential customer. And it's like, fuck that. A lot of dating advice focuses on that too. Like how to beat her last minute resistance, how to get her to be into you. It's fucking weird. It's like, but aren't we on the same team? Like, don't we both want the same thing? And if we don't want the same thing, shouldn't we go separate ways? Why do I want to make you want the thing that I want? Then you didn't really want it. I can't enjoy it if I don't know that you're fucking enjoying it, or if you don't really want to be here. It's also not particularly, maybe this isn't the right word, but validating for me if I have to force you to sign up for coaching or force you to have sex with me. That doesn't make me feel like I'm worthy. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough as I am, and you didn't actually want my coaching. I had to make you want it. You didn't actually want my body or my mind or my heart or my soul. You didn't want to connect with me and be intimate with me. I had to make you want it. For me, that isn't really what I wanted from this whole thing, from coaching, from my business, from definitely sex and relationships. I wanted to know that I was good enough, or that there was anyone out there, there were people out there that would like me as I was. And obviously you improve yourself, so you're not just like, you're not morbidly obese, sitting on the couch with no job and no friends going, somebody should like me as I am. Obviously, you're improving yourself along that process. But I wanted to know that I didn't have to use all these techniques and tricks and force people and manipulate and all of that kind of stuff. I wanted to do it, in other words, a little more honestly, and at least in my mind, a little more ethically, whatever ethically might mean for you. Another thing to think is giving away a ton of free content and really helping people and giving value makes you feel good. Because a lot of people are going to use that content to change their lives. And then they'll obviously tell you, like I said. And my main mission has always been from the very start to help people. Because lots of people helped me, Good Looking Loser, Mark Manson, Caleb Jones, Dan Henry, a whole bunch of other people. I wanted to pay that forward. It felt so fucking unbelievably good that people I'd never met cared enough about me and everybody else to help us change our lives. I wanted to be able to pay that mission forward. And you're probably not going to be able to see it on the camera, but this little tattoo that I have on my arm, you're really not going to be able to see on this camera, but it's a little duck and he's holding a rifle, and it's a very sentimental tattoo that I got that very much relates to or signifies my time on the Good Looking Loser forums and my time going through the Good Looking Loser Approach Anxiety program. Ducks were a sort of personal inside joke during that program. Anyone who has read my Approach Anxiety log will know exactly what the ducks are for. The gun was because I felt like I was sort of going to war with my old self. I felt like I was battling my approach anxiety at the time. But on his helmet, and I know you can't really see it in this video, but on his helmet, he's got a little logo, which is the Good Looking Loser logo. I literally have the Good Looking Loser logo tattooed on me for the rest of my life because of how much that guy changed my fucking life. And I will, until the end of time, sing his praises. And I wanted to be able to give that back to other people. I wanted to be able to help people even just 1% as much as Good Looking Loser had helped me and changed my life. And so giving away a ton of content for free has absolutely helped me with part of that mission. And for a lot of you, you'll have the same thing. A lot of you that want to start coaching, that want to start doing content creation, and it seems to be quite a lot of you. The number of guys that have come to my program, my coaching program at this point, and just said, dude, I want to do what you do. I want to do coaching. Like I need to help people, man. Or I want to start a YouTube channel. I think we've had like 12 people at this point, either start a channel or start coaching or mentor other people, all of that good shit. Because a lot of you have that same mindset that I have where it's like, fuck man, people like really helped me. And if I could even just help one person, even 1% as much as these other people helped me, holy fuck. Like, holy fuck, that would mean my life, and this is the reason why I started this mission of helping people. It would mean my life was worth something. It would mean all the pain that I went through, all the suffering, all the misery, all the years of doubt and insecurity and all of that. It had a purpose. I went through all of that so that somebody else doesn't have to. It means that I didn't just suffer for nothing. That is the reason why I do all this shit. And so giving away a ton of content really, really, really drills into that mission. Another reason that giving away a ton of free content benefits you and is a great way of doing things is that some people literally can't afford your coaching or your paid products or your ebooks or whatever. And so if you give away a ton for free, you're able to help people who never would have given you money anyway. Any of you who are familiar with like the piracy stuff that went through, like, I think the 90s or it would have been the 2000s, wouldn't it? Anyway, like Napster and the music companies and movie companies and stuff, and, companies like Nintendo and stuff like that, where they were like suing people for pirating their movies or their music or their games or whatever. People were able to successfully defend themselves in court by showing, I never would have paid for your movie anyway, or your music anyway. I had no intention of buying your CD. I literally don't have money. The only reason I listened to it is because it was free, because it was pirated and free. And so you can't say that I've taken money out of your pocket by pirating your content, because I never would have fucking watched it. If it was a choice between not watching it or paying for it, I would have picked not watching it. And so you can't sue me. And people like successfully defended, and that was carried out. That was like, yes, excuse me, judges said, yes, that's a valid defense, yes. And so I have the same sort of mindset here. I'm not really losing anything by having free content, because most of those people who use that free content to change their lives, or at least a hell of a lot of them, never would have paid me anyway. They're people that just wouldn't have fucking given me money. They just were looking for free content, or they're not the type of people that buy something, or they don't need to. They can just use the free content, and that's good enough, and they can change their fucking life. And if it was a choice between free content that you have, or you had no free content and you only had paid content, they would have just gone somewhere else, to someone else that had free content. They wouldn't have stuck around. Because, this is another thing to think, and I kind of said this before. If you don't have any free content, or you don't have a lot of free content, they won't get to know you. They won't even know if your content helps. And so they'll just go, all right, this guy only has paid content. I don't even fucking know if he can help me, because it's not like he has free content that I can test out and see if it's valid and see if he knows what he's talking about. He only has everything locked behind a paywall. Fuck that. I'm going to someone that has free shit. And so not only does having a lot of free content bring people in, because they test your content, they get to dip their toe in the water a little bit, they try it, it changes their life, and they go, wow, holy fuck, okay, I'm going to pay this guy. But a lot of the people, if you didn't have any free content, they would have just fucked off anyway. They were never going to give you money. At least if you have free content, there's a tiny little chance that they'll take that free content, change their life, and go, holy shit, dude, like, please let me give you some money. Even if I just give you a fucking donation of $20. I've had lots of people just PayPal me $10, $5, because they're like, look, I don't have a lot of money. You've changed my life. Here's $5. And I'm always fucking eternally grateful for that shit. So yeah, having that free content means you're bringing more people in, and some of those people never would have fucking paid you in the first place. So you may as well help them with the free content. Like, why the fuck not? People also, I touched on this before, will trust you if you have your free content. It feels like you don't have to prove that your paid products or your paid coaching will change their life, because they go, well, your free content already changed my life. Bro, I don't need convincing that your paid content will be even better. I literally don't need you to convince me, because if the fucking free content was insane, of course the paid content is going to be good. And now, obvious caveat, make sure your paid products are even better than your free content. Let's make that fucking clear. And there are a million different ways of making it better. Maybe I can do a separate video on that if you guys want me to. Leave a comment. So you can give more personal time. That's better. You get access to me as a coach. That is obviously better than even my Tinder guide. Right? The Tinder guide isn't personal. I am. That's one way of making it better. You could just do more, or even deeper information. You could give more nuanced information. You could add, you could build out a product and have like we do, where we have a library of at this point, I think it's 40 videos or something that's only in that library. So advanced topics that maybe I don't talk about on YouTube. You can have different ways of giving even more value. I feel like that should go without saying. Make sure your paid content is good as well. Don't have amazing free content and then you sell some book that's absolute dog shit and people are like, bro, what are you doing? Your free content is better than your paid content. What the fuck are you doing? So I feel like that goes without saying. But yeah, if you have amazing, really good free content, people don't need to be, it doesn't need to be proven that your paid content is good. They will come to you assuming that if they give you money, it's going to be life-changing. They will just fucking assume that because the free content was so goddamn good. They already know that your free stuff works. They already trust you. Of course, your paid shit's going to work. It means you don't need any of that marketing or sales. And the way I think about it, or the way it feels to me, is the people that sign up for coaching with me, they're essentially already my friends. They're like, bro, you've shared so much of your journey. You've shared so much of your life, your story. I feel like I've gotten to know you at least a little bit, even though, sure, it's just through videos and shit and we haven't actually talked. I get that. But I feel like I've met you just a little bit. I feel like I've met Imogen a little bit. I understand you guys a little bit. It feels like they're coming to me as friends. And fucking hell, you don't have to do any sales or marketing or convincing with people that already feel like they're your friends. That also helps me screen. Because I have all this free content that people can use to change their lives, by the time they come to me, they have already used my free content to change their lives, either massively or at least just a little bit. Like they've probably taken some action. Paying me is usually not the first action that they've taken. You know, usually they come and they say, hey, I've already hooked up with a couple of girls, or I've started a business, or, you know, I was really depressed and I've made my bed every day because you recommend doing that. Or I've read a bunch of your articles and I've made a couple of posts on the forums and I've gotten started a little bit. And so I am only really letting guys, or it just means I'm automatically letting people into my program who've already taken some action, which obviously makes it easier for me to coach them. I literally don't have to do as much because they're already starting the fucking process. I don't have to motivate them. They're already motivated. They've already taken action from my free content. My free content is like the foreplay, and then the paid content or the coaching is like the sex. Because they're already fucking warmed up from the foreplay, from the free content. By the time they come to me, it's like they're fucking horny. They're horny for their goals. They're ready to go. It also makes my testimonials and the client interviews that I do, it makes my products look more impressive. Because the people that come to me have already started that self-improvement journey from my free content. And so all I'm really doing is just speeding up the process. I'm helping them. I'm saving them from, struggle. I'm making them feel accepted and loved and understood and all of that shit. But they're already on that path to greatness. And so then my testimonials look impressive as fuck because I already did the hard work with the free content. And like I said, it makes the coaching easier because I've already lubricated it. They're lubed up and ready to go, baby, because they've already read my Tinder guide or read my depression guide or, read my how to start a business guide. And so they're already fucking on that pathway. Another thing to think is if I hide too much behind paywalls, like paid content, if I don't have enough free, good life-changing content, you, the audience, like you, the person listening, will feel like a fear of missing out. Right? Like if I just have a little bit of free content and it helps a little bit, but then I say, you're missing out if you don't pay for my course. And yes, sometimes I do say that, but I try not to say that too much because generally speaking, I don't want you to feel this like fear of missing out. I don't want you to feel bad for not giving me money. I don't want you to feel like the only way you can change your life is if you sign up for coaching and give me money or buy my paid products. Like I don't want you to feel like that. I don't want you to feel, in other words, like you need me. I don't want you to feel like the only way you're going to have an awesome life is if you give me that money. That goes against my main principle, which is obviously to make the world a tiny bit happier, to help people. And so I'm a huge fan of giving away as much as I possibly can, not just because it feels good, not just because it benefits me, not just because it benefits you, but because it's like we all get to fucking win. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and have this fear of missing out of like, fuck, man, like I could change my life if only I had $10,000 to pay Andy. It's like, no, dude, like go use the free content. It's also a really nice fallback. And it means that I don't have to feel guilty if somebody does come to me for coaching and they go, man, I get this sometimes where they're like, I wish I could pay for coaching, man. I wish I could, I would give anything to pay. I can't make it work. Not even with the payment plan. Like, here's my financial situation. God, man, like, oh, it hurts so bad. It makes me feel better to be able to say, bro, that's fine. Like, just go use all my free content. Like, look how much fucking free content. Dude, you could change your life with that shit. And we have the forums as well, which is essentially like a mini coaching, you know what I mean? Like, guys on there will help you. Just go use all that. You're fine, dude. Like, it's really nice having that fallback. So I don't have to sit in the discomfort of of feeling guilty where this person is like, man, I want to change my life, but I don't have the money. I can be like, bro, you don't need the money. Just go fucking watch my YouTube videos. Go change your life. Go to my blog and read my articles. Go to my Spotify and listen to all of those. Go change your fucking life. So there's that nice little fallback. Let's do something interesting here. I'll do a soft pitch. Like, you know how I talked about before, when you give away all this free content, you don't have to do any like hard marketing and sales. I'll pitch you. I'll show you how I talk about the coaching, and you can probably just go back and listen to any of my old videos as well. But I want you to listen to the way that I phrase things here. I want you to watch what I do, and I'm obviously going to be a little bit self-conscious now about what I'm doing because I know you're watching. But fuck it. Watch what I do and understand that this is how you can talk about your paid products or your coaching or any of that. If you have this big library of free content, you don't have to push the coaching as much. So here we go. And God, I'm going to be really fucking self-conscious now because I've told you to watch me. But if you would like any help with any of the stuff that we've talked about today, so building a business, making your first paid product, doing content creation, giving value, helping other people, or even some of the other stuff that we talk about, sex and dating, relationships, mental health, depression, all that good stuff, happiness, love, enlightenment, we would love to have you in our coaching program. Cam and I will absolutely go deep on you with whatever it is you need help with. We're both super passionate. Cam is a crazy little ginger just like me. We love helping people. We will have your back, and so will the rest of the group. We've just added, like I said, about 3 new videos to the members only section that we have that has all of the library of content. We've got ebooks, we've got video courses, we've got all that good shit. You get access to the Discord group for life. You get access to our members only content section for life. We also just promoted 2 guys to mini coaches. I might do a separate video or podcast on that actually. So 2 of the oldest one of them is the oldest coaching client I've ever had, Ed. There you go. That's your fucking spoiler. And another guy that maybe I'll talk about in a separate video. They've been with me for a long time, especially Ed. And the amount of value that they've given to other people in the coaching program. And I've just kept Ed in there at a discounted rate. I've just said fuck it, bro. You can just pay a couple $100 a month because yes, we're coaching you. And yes, you're paying way less than everyone else. But you just give a fuck ton of value to other people. And recently I said to him and this other guy, I just said fuck it. You guys can be in the coaching group for free if you're willing to step up and be sort of mini coaches to everybody else. And so long story short, if you sign up, you get access to me, Cam, Ed, and this other secret guy that maybe I'll announce in a future video. This other guy's a fucking free love hippie. He just works on people. He works with people on mindset. This guy is really fucking good at what he does. Abso-fucking-lutely. He's come leaps and bounds. Anyway, 4 coaches you get access to. How fucking insane is that? As well as everything else. At the moment, it is $10,000. Although, go to my website and check that price because I'm constantly putting that price up with every new client. So it might be more by the time this video comes out. So sign up now so you don't miss out on that. There's a link in the description below. You can click that. You'll jump on a call with me or Cam. We'll see if you're a good fit. All that good shit. So, see how I just did that. Obviously, I mentioned, the coaching. I did it in a pretty casual way. I talked about some of the benefits that you'll get. I did use fear of missing out a tiny bit. I'll admit that. But I tried to do it in a soft way, right? At the end, I said, look, the price is going to go out. So, you might the price is going up. You might miss out a little bit if you don't jump on. But it's not like I sat there and said, can you really afford to live a loser life? Do you really want to be like this for the rest of your life? And now, full disclosure, I did do that in the past. There were times in the past where I felt a very desperate, a very strong sense of desperation of fuck, I don't know if I could pay the bills. And I would use a little bit more fear of missing out. But I've put myself in this position now where you can see that I'm excited about the coaching. I obviously get that across. But that's a pretty soft fucking pitch, the way that I phrased it. And the mindset that I have now is I would love it if you sign up. That would be amazing. Cam would love it. The other coaches would love it. The guys in the program would love it. The guys in the program love when more people sign up because obviously it's more people fucking on the same mission as you. So everybody in the coaching program, and maybe that's an angle or something that I could talk about a little more in future mentions of coaching. I probably could do that actually now that I think about that. So feel free, any of you that are coaches or anything like that, to take that idea. You can probably get some of your current coaches to bring in or to to do some of your messaging around and not that they would do it, but just get some quotes from them saying how excited they are to have more people in the group. Maybe I can do that. I might do that in future videos. I'll ask some of the guys in the group, are you guys excited to have more people in the group? Do you want more people here? And whatever they write, I will talk about it in videos, obviously with their permission. Anyway, back on topic. So you could hear I was excited about the coaching. That's how I sort of pitch it. I talk about the benefits. I talk about everything you'll get, all of that kind of stuff. But the mindset is sort of, if you sign up, that would be beautiful. But if you don't, my life goes on just the same. You notice there wasn't any real desperation or hard sells or anything like that because you don't need to. And now again, full disclosure, in the past, I've been in positions where I'm holy fuck, the rent is due or it's overdue. Holy shit, I got to push the coaching a little bit. But generally speaking, the vast majority of the time when I talk about the coaching, I'm just I offer coaching. Here's what you get. It's really exciting. We're proud of it. Go change your life. Go have fun, either with me or without. And you can get yourself into that same position, but that mindset, I guess we would call it an abundance mindset, wouldn't we? That's something that you build over time. I'm obviously not perfect with it, but it's something you need to earn. And I really want to make that clear. A big part of the reason why I can be a little bit more chill about coaching, and again, I'm not chill about it all the time. I do have months of stress where I will talk about coaching much more, but generally speaking, I'm pretty chill about the coaching. I definitely don't hard push like a lot of other people. The reason that I'm at that position is because I gave away so much free content. Like I said, at this point, it's like 1,500 pieces of free content, including the massive Tinder guide, the massive depression article. I've got other massive guides, my massive performance anxiety and erectile dysfunction article. That's fucking massive. I have lots of massive articles. Because I've given away all of that, I have earned the right to be more chill. I'm in a position where, generally speaking, I don't need to do a whole ton of sales and marketing because plenty of you guys just come to the coaching because I fucking mention it in all of my free content. And you go, yeah, fuck it, now's the time for all the reasons I mentioned before. So if you're doing coaching or content creation or you books or whatever, and you want to be at that same point where you don't have to push as hard and your marketing is a little more organic and you focus a little more on just giving value and helping people rather than, oh, fuck, I got to get the next sale. I got to get the next client. That's something you need to earn. So earn that. Go write more content, then write more, then write more, then write more. Write every day. Don't stop. The way that you get a lot of good content is not by being a perfectionist. You give yourself permission to suck and then you just write a ton of content. I wrote an article called Pump Out a Ton of Content and Some of It Will Be Gold. I've also written articles and podcasts on like everything is a numbers game, including content creation. If you want good articles, if you want to really help people, you just have to do a lot of it. Obviously, try and do good content each time, but I don't put pressure on myself. I do every now and then, but I'm pretty good with it. I don't put pressure on myself for any one piece of content to be like life-changing. Some of it is, like the Tinder guide, I obviously put in effort, the depression article. The recent stuff I've done, like the femdom video and the male dom, like how to be a dom and have submissives, that we put a shitload of effort into those, sure. But most of the time, I don't put this pressure on myself to be perfect. I just pump out a ton of content and I just try and help people and be humble about that. And, I'm just here to try and serve. I'm just trying to help. I'm just here to give as much as I can. And having that in mind, I promise if you just keep doing this for long enough, I've been doing it for 4 years at this point, you can do it much quicker. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I'm here to try and help you save some of those mistakes or avoid some of those mistakes. You can definitely do it quicker than that, but think a little bit more long term. And if I just stick at this and I just keep giving a ton of value, I will slowly, and it is slow, it has been for me, I'll build up abundance and an audience that's loyal and grateful to me, and I don't have to push as much. It's just me and the audience hanging out. And that's how I feel about you guys. That's why I do all these videos where I'm like, I'm fucking grateful to all of you. I get to just hang out with you. I get to just talk into this fucking microphone, talk into this camera, chill with you guys. And some of you give me money. How beautiful is that? And all of you deserve that. All of you can do it. If I can, you sure as hell can too. But it is something that you need to earn. So if that is something that you're interested in, like I said, I'm happy to coach you. I feel like already there's enough free content on content creation and stuff like that and how to do this. I am going to constantly be adding more. So if you have any comments or anything or questions or something you're not sure of, leave a comment below and like give me a suggestion for a video or a podcast or an article or whatever, and I will happily do that. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush your goals.